Good morning, Blue Lulus. You've made it to Friday. Whoop! Ice is sad. A report came out yesterday saying that the ICE agents are having a really tough time. They are quitting in droves and they are citing sadness, exhaustion, and confusion about the whole point of their mission. And this actually does make sense to me because I'm sure when they were marketed this position, they were told that they were going to get to wear these cool outfits. They were going to be army crawling on the ground, going in, finding El Chapo and all of his comrades and taking those horrible criminals off of our streets. Like, I could understand how that could be appealing to a person. I mean, not me, but I could see it. But that's not what happened here, right? Pee Wee German's wife left him for his arch nemesis, and then to quell his bloodlust, he has you going into schools, daycares, and foster homes, snatching up kids and throwing them in prison camps instead. Yeah, that feeling that you're feeling in your heart, that's not sadness. That's not exhaustion. That's not burnout. That's shame, bro. That is that deep-seated shame. That is your soul crying out to beg you to stop, because if you don't, your soul will continue to face the consequences of these actions for eternity, depending on which book you like to read. So if you're feeling that shame, just stop. Step down. Don't do it anymore. Pee Wee German can't do this on his own. That sniveling little shrew probably couldn't even carry those little pieces that you are wandering around in farms with. You do not have to allow him to just sit behind his desk in DC, pointing a laser pointer and telling you where to go like you're some sort of trained animal. You're not. You're a human being. And if you're feeling that shame, that is because you still have a shred of humanity left inside of you. You do not have to let that go for him or for anybody else. If you're fearing for the safety of your family right now, then stop. Drop out. Step down, get some therapy, and go get a new job. You can go drive an armored car for a bank or something. You still get to wear a cool outfit. You still get to drive in a super cool truck, but you won't be hurting anybody. Yeah? The Joker wants a new job, apparently, because yesterday on his Temu Twitter, he and his team... I can't even get it out. He and his team made an AI-generated image of him as Superman. His chin's up like this, and he's like, "Oh, I'm a hero!" And this is following a bunch of fallout on the right because they went out to go see this new Superman movie, and they're calling it woke. No, baby. Can one of you guys please explain to me the difference between kindness and wokeness? I'll wait. Because that's what happens when you villainize good qualities by calling them woke. You become the villains. What did you expect Superman to do? Come in, snatch people off the streets, and feed them to alligators? No, he couldn't be a hero if he were doing that. He couldn't be best friends with all of the other DC villains that are running around, descending on cities and ruining them, right? He couldn't be flying around on a plane with the arch nemesis of the people for 15 years and then pretending like that supervillain never existed, right? He wouldn't be a hero if he did that. And so you're not mad that he's woke. You're mad that you have joined the dark side. You're mad that you have aligned yourselves with villains, and it's hard for you to see, but you can see it if you look hard enough. And once you do, turn around and walk the other direction, bro. Come on! Get some therapy. Get a new job. Maybe. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton is not getting a new job, but he's not going to be able to wear his wedding ring anymore because his wife came out on social media yesterday saying that after 38 years, she's leaving him. And she's citing biblical reasons for doing so. Like, what did you do, Kenny P? Because he was already impeached by the Texans for this massive racketeering scheme where he was blackmailing people to try to keep his previous affairs a secret. And they somehow, even though he was impeached, they acquitted him and he got to keep his job. It was a really long story, but it was very corrupt, very intense, but she knew all about it because his wife is a Texas state legislator, so she had to listen to this entire trial the whole way through. We know that he's been really, really close with the Joker, and he's running for Senate right now. We also know that he knows exactly what happened in this contest because he was one of the people who came out and said, "Oh my gosh, aren't you so glad that Dark Batman is on our side?" Like, whatever he did to those little... Yeah, that was great. That was so amazing. And that was fine with her. They were both on the docket speaking on the 6th of January, 4 Januaries ago. So what did he do? Kenny P, are you on the list? Are you on the list? Of course he is. Of course he is. Allegedly for entertainment purposes only. I don't know, but if the shoe fits. But man, that list problem is not going away anytime soon. The FBI released the video from the Floridian billionaire's cell yesterday, and it just left us with more questions than answers. You should check out Becca Day and Sheila's videos about it, because holy moly. I do not have time for another rabbit hole right now. Summer is kicking my butt, but the person who went into the cell is not the person that came out. It's just as clear as day to see. And presumably there was only one person in that cell to begin with, and that cell does not have an exit door, so we're not left with a lot of options there. If you really let that man go, could you imagine? I'm not ready to say that that's exactly what happened, but maybe that's what happened. What the heck, man? What if he let him go? Or what if he told him that he was going to be let go, and then they brought him somewhere else and then brought him back? I don't know. But the reason why, after that Floridian billionaire went to sleep, that the whole world was saying that that's probably not what happened, is because he was a rabid narcissist. Remember, I speak fluent narcissist. Those kind of people do not by themselves. He had gotten away with every single horrible thing that he had ever done in his entire life, pretty much scot-free, and he had no reason to believe that this situation was going to be any different, because he had those lists and he had that information. Whatever blackmail that he'd been using to get away with stuff before was still true at that point, and he was not just going to dip out, right? He was gonna at least try, but somebody else did something. I tell you what, 2025 is not boring. I hope you take care of yourselves today. I hope you drink some yummy coffee. I hope you eat a yummy snack. And as always, keep your eyes up, keep your feet on the ground. I'll see you next time. Ta-ta!